Alright boys, what's happening? Welcome back to another episode of F1 2021, my team here on the channel. Today we have the Monaco Grand Prix. It is episode 3 and we buy a chassis upgrade there because nothing in life is free. Sorry, I'll stop with the rhymes right now. We have a press interview to get into first before the race, so let's get to that.
We are in the HQ of our newest Formula 1 team. We've got an awful lot to talk about, so let's jump straight in. Oh, I've heard rumours you're having cash flow issues at the moment. Is this because of overinvestment in drivers and facilities, or is it something a bit more serious?
Now, they keep saying this. Is it Max, his name is? He keeps saying that as well, but we don't have issues, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Is there no more room for improvement, or are you prioritising other areas?
Now, this whole interview is quite backwards because upgrades to facilities have installed. We've literally just bought one right before the interview.
You have a lot of new equipment at your chassis fabrication plant. Have you been investing heavily in it?
And now it's saying that we've been investing heavily in a certain department after the last question said that we weren't investing, so I don't know what's going on with this interview. Will Buxton, you're a bit confused, mate, but yeah, little question about our second driver there.
Would it be safe to
just
say
boosting our acclaim, our reputation, getting some XP in.
Your career comes first in your team.
This one was quite controversial. I just said that there's no team orders though because, you know, like you don't really get to decide team orders on this game anyway. It's not like I can tell Tik Tok to move out the way if he's in front of me or anything like that. So I just said, kept it neutral and said there's no team orders.
Thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic.
But with that out the way, let's get into the race weekend at the Monaco Grand Prix.
Parts have completed without issue. They'll be on the car ready for the next race weekend.
So boys, it's the Monaco Grand Prix and you'll see our setup on the screen right now. Feel free to pause it as always and copy this setup to use in your race, in your game. But yeah man, the Monaco Grand Prix is a very, very tough circuit. Obviously a street circuit, very narrow. You've got to avoid the walls. It's almost impossible, I find, to drive this circuit without picking up front wing damage, as you might see in the race. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see in the race. But we're going to do our qualifying lap right now. Just bro, this track right here is so difficult to drive. I swear to God, it's so hard. I'll give it a little track guide though of the Monaco circuit. You know, even though I'm not very fast at it, I still know where to go. We stay in 7th gear down the home straight, brake at the 50-meter board, into 3rd gear, hook the curb on the inside, short shift to 4th on the apex as we climb the hill. You know, try and keep as close to the walls as you can. That's how you maximise your time. Down into 4th gear for the sweeping left, into the right there. Avoid the little bump in the road as we go down this straight. Down into 2nd gear, sometimes into 1st, depending on how much rotation you do need. Up into 3rd gear for the hairpin. Down into 1st. Try and hook the curb to get extra rotation. We didn't really do it there, so we've lost a little bit of time. You can ride that inside curb there as well, like we've just done in 2nd gear, but be very careful that you don't spin your car out down there as we go through the tunnel. Very difficult to drive the tunnel this year, I think. Like last year it was just flat out. I don't know if it's the car or just the game this year, but I was losing a lot of traction through the tunnel, so I have to keep lifting. But we go through the chicane quite nicely there. You know, just try and keep as close to the walls as you can. It's easier said than done because, you know, like we've just touched the wall there, which shaves time off and it's going to damage the car, but that's how you like increase your time as well, getting as close as you can to the walls. So we come around the last corner there and we set a time of, as we hit the DRS zone, we set a time of a 1:12.65, which puts us in P3. Obviously there's only two other people who've done laps at the moment, I believe. So let's see where that does put us in qualifying. Did we make it through to Q2 for what would be the 3rd time this season, would it be? No, we cannot. We finished in P20, so we're going to start in P20 on the grid. Dan Tik Tok qualifies us for the first time this season by like a 10th and a half nearly. So fair play to Dan Tik Tok, but it's time for the race and let's see who we're going to be racing against.
Idiot. This guy's a dumbass.
What the fuck was he doing? Is he a fucking prick or what?
Oh, and that is a spin. Nikita Mazza spin.
Yeah guys, this guy is honest. So stupid. Don't f me up with this. Come on! Move! Fuck's sake!
Move separator.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
Okay, he pushed me off the track. I think you have to leave the space. All the time you have to leave the space.
Lasciatemi guidare, perché sono lento.
Just came back on the circuit like an idiot.
I can't, it's broken! It's broken! Anti-stall! Fuck! I thought Norrie was off the track.
Fucking blind asshole, honestly.
To whom it may concern, fuck you.
I can't keep the car behind. Mono.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863. And, of course, a certain road race, first held here in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The prestigious Circuit de Monaco then. It's not all that dissimilar today to the layout that made its debut almost a century ago. It's 2 miles and 19 corners through the streets of Monte Carlo, and although the average lap speed of around 93 miles per hour is the lowest of the season, the tiny margins for error make it the natural habitat of the safety car. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1, so how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Perez, Lando Norris and Leclerc, Ricciardo, Sainz, Vettel and Pierre Gasly, Stroll, Tsunoda, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Mick Schumacher, Giovinazzi, Daniel Ticktum and Nikita Mazepin. The owner driver, Fernando Alonso. They've taken a grid penalty. Russell and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
As you can see there, boys, we actually moved up a place on the grid because Alonso picked up a penalty. Now, we look at the strategy, and the default strategy was hard tyres into mediums, and I just didn't really like the sound of starting on hards and going into the mediums, so I flipped it, started on the mediums and went into the hards. Let's see if it pays off in the race as we wait for the lights to count down here in Monte Carlo. It's 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. That was very suspenseful. I was waiting for a long time there, and we of course get a good start. We overtake Giovinazzi, I do believe it is, straight away from the start, and we are side by side with our teammate Dan Ticktum, who was obviously 2 places in front of us as we climb the hill. Now you can see us weaving behind our teammate there, Dan Ticktum, obviously starting on the hard tyres, as well as the majority of the grid starting on hard tyres. Alonso behind us, or 2 places behind us on the medium tyres as well. So obviously we're going to have a bit of pace compared to the hard tyres in front of us, but as we go 20 mile an hour around the hairpin, absolutely ridiculous speeds for an F1 car. Yeah, so it's obviously we're going to be on faster tyres, but Monaco is so hard to overtake. Like, is it even going to matter? We'll have to wait and see in this race. You know, I mean, you've seen this year, I think there was like 3 overtakes in the Monaco Grand Prix this year. It was proper, like, just bad, bro. Let's be honest, it's a bad thing to watch. Like, the Monaco Grand Prix, like, I'm sure driving it is fun. Like, if you were good at the circuit, even on the game, I'm sure it'd be very fun to drive, but in terms of racing against other cars, you know, like, come on, it's not very exciting to watch, is it? Especially when you get races like yesterday with Silverstone and obviously Max Verstappen. Good to see that he's doing well after that massive crash yesterday at Silverstone. Lewis Hamilton should be suspended according to Helmut Marko. I don't know what I think about that. I don't think he should be suspended. But anyway, back to our race. We are in Monaco, and we get to lap 4. We are still behind Dan Tickton, but we're putting up green sectors as we give him a little love tap on the arse there. Pause. Yeah, we're putting up green sectors. You know, we keep setting fastest laps, or for us anyway, every single lap that we go through. We're obviously going to end up getting DRS on the home straight if we can't make it past Tickton here, because we are within 1 second as we send it up the inside into the chicane there. Might have been track limits there, but we don't care. Late on the brakes into the chicane, and we pass our teammate Tickton, which gives us a little bit of free space in front of us now to try and catch Mick Schumacher. But as you can see, boys, we are on lap 7 now. And, you know, Mick Schumacher, he's just increasing the gap. I don't know what it was, boys, but I just couldn't find any pace. I couldn't find any rhythm going through this Monaco circuit. And you see those 2 corners there, I've took very slow. I might have picked up some damage. You know, it seemed like there was a lot of understeer on the car, and I just don't know what was going on. I definitely did pick up damage, as you'll see later on in the race, but I don't know what's going on with this game. It doesn't really tell you when you do have damage. So, yeah, it's very difficult to know, because sometimes you think, like, oh, I've bumped someone, or I've bumped the wall, I'm going to have damage. As we see there again, like just a bad line into the corner. But then you can see in the bottom right, I checked the MFD, and there's no damage shown on the front wing. So it's a bit weird. It is a bit weird. As we come up to lap 10 anyway, let's see what's going on right here as we come towards the final corner of the circuit. We've obviously got teammate Dan Tickton behind us. He's going to have DRS on us, I do think, but you can see our back end sort of skidding a little bit there. I feel like the tyres just weren't gripping the surface, and you'll see later on when we go into the hard tyres after the pit stop, like finding the right window for them tyres was just hard, bro. As we come up against Gasly, and we nearly crash into Gasly on the home straight as he came out the pits. Bro, that pit exit is so hard to see on this game, I swear to God. It was in the shadows at the side of the road, and Gasly, we almost caused a massive collision there as Gasly and Vettel come out of the pits. But obviously Gasly is going to be behind us now on fresher medium tyres as we go down the home straight into turn 1. Can he make the move on us? No, he can't. We push him wide a little bit there. I don't know if he did make contact with the wall or not. But as we climb the hill now, you can see in our wing mirror, you can see the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly as we come around the corner. Slowly changes from that dark blue AlphaTauri car into the purple Sasuke racing car of Dan Tickton. And Dan Tickton actually makes a move on Pierre Gasly and overtakes Gasly, which was absolutely crazy. But we get to lap 16 now. You can see the tyre wear in the bottom right isn't that bad, to be fair, but I just felt like the tyres were gone, bro. I really did feel like I needed to change, so we did say we're going to box this lap, even though we were going to box on lap 19, I do believe. So currently we're on plan A -3 or 2 technically, because we have finished the lap 16 here. So I think, yeah, the best thing for us to do would be to get onto these mediums, onto the hards, sorry, switch up the tyres. But that was probably one of the worst things I could have done at this point in the race. I should have stayed out as much as I can, to be honest, because Monaco is such like a track position based circuit because of the lack of overtakes. And you can see there, they changed my front wing, boys. They changed my front wing, even though the MFD said there was no damage to it, which gives us an 8.5 second stationary pit stop, which just completely ruins our race. I can't lie, completely ruins our race. 8.5 seconds in the pit stop. They changed our front wing, even though I didn't tell them to. Yeah, like it just, obviously it's going to help us, I guess. But as we climb the hill here, boys, like it literally felt like they just put 4 ice blocks on the car instead of tyres, because there was just no grip in these tyres whatsoever. But I think that was only for the outlap, and they did sort of come alive a bit later on in the race as we go a bit later on now into lap 20. And you see this curb on the right there, boys. Yeah, be very careful coming through with those 2 curbs there, because we do slide through that section of the track, and you'll see another section later on at that part of the track with that curb. Last year's game, you could just go flat out over the top of the curb and have no problems. This year's game, if you're inside right, hooks that curb a little too much, as we nearly crashed into Russell like we did with Gasly. But yeah, like I'm saying, if your inside right tyres hook that curb a bit too much, it's race over. It is absolutely race over. You're spinning like a Beyblade and into the wall, losing your front wing. But yeah, Monaco, literally, it's just a front wing damage circuit, bro. I swear to God, like you seen, we didn't even touch the wall. Like I was looking through the highlights trying to find the point as we nearly hit Latifi. That's nearly 3 times we crashed into the pit exit. But yeah, so I looked through the footage and I couldn't see where I damaged the front wing, bro. I swear to God, like I really couldn't pinpoint where we picked up that damage enough to change the front wing as well. So I was very confused by that. But yeah, you can see Nikita Mazepin is in front of us now. and he's 6.6 seconds ahead, bro, as we come sliding through the corner there. I don't even know what happened. Did we hook the inside curb or knock the wall slightly? George Russell tries to beat us through the tunnel there, but we tell him to back off. This was our corner. Let's see a replay of us sliding around the corner there like Fast and Furious, like in Bahrain. It was very family friendly. Vin Diesel, Dominic Toretto would be very proud of that one there. But obviously we get the position on what's his name, George Russell and Latifi. They're the only two cars behind us at the moment. They are on mediums as well. Obviously we switched to the hards, but we get Max Verstappen is out of the session on lap 27 of 39 at the race. Let's see what happened. It looks like it was just an engine failure for Max as he pulls over to the side of the road. Yeah, going back to Monaco anyway and the front wing stuff. Like, I swear to God, bro, if you do this race and you don't hear you check your MFD for a new strategy option, then you know you must be an esports player or something, because that's all I ever hear when I'm playing this circuit. Because you pick up so much damage that you don't even realise you picked up. But you've just seen a glimpse of the first time this season blue flags. Very unfortunately, we can see Lewis Hamilton in our rear views, so we're going to go quite slow through the tunnel here and let Lewis overtake us there, as Valtteri also comes through as we go through the chicane. We obviously take the chicane first, don't want to lose too much time on the cars behind, letting them past, because we still have those two Williams behind us, but we let Valtteri through there, and we've still got blue flags. So we slow down as we come around the home straight. I do believe actually we go around these last two corners first, and we let I believe it's Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez that are behind us right now. There goes Leclerc flying past us, and it is Sergio Perez as well that we let pass on the home straight. Very unfortunate to see blue flags. You know, it's very embarrassing to get lapped. And we've got now Carlos Sainz and a McLaren behind us as well, so that we've got to let pass. So we're just losing so much time letting these guys pass. But let's be honest, we're never getting towards the points or anything anyway. So the race is pretty much over for us. Nikita Mazepin is 20 seconds ahead. Now, that is never a sentence I thought I would ever say in my entire life. Nikita Mazepin is 20 seconds ahead of me as we let Lando through there. Obviously, just being very sportsman to Lando after the first two races of the season. We weren't very nice to the guy. So we've let him through there. But yeah, you can see there, Latifi is on our ass right now. Latifi's overtook George Russell somehow as well. We let Ricciardo through in the tunnel. And I believe there's Lance Stroll, is it, to come next? I don't even know, bro. We're just seeing blue flags everywhere, and you know it's not very nice to see. But we try and chase down Ricciardo, get some slipstream as we come through onto the home straight. We still have the two Williams behind us, and our goal is to just not finish last, because that would be an absolute howler if we did finish last in a race. As we battle with George Russell into turn one, we get the better line coming through. I think Russell hit the wall slightly there, so he might have picked up some damage, and of course his engineer will be telling him to check his MFD for a new strategy option, and that is what the M in Monaco actually stands for. If you didn't know that, the M in Monaco stands for MFD, for a new strategy option, and the two O's in Monaco stand for on your MFD you'll see a new strategy option. The N stands for new strategy option on the MFD. And the A stands for a new strategy option is available on the MFD. As we cut the corner there, boys, did you see that? That was absolutely great driving by us. We just completely cut the corner there. Probably took some damage to the underneath of the car, riding those big sausage curbs through the chicane. But yeah, George Russell there, I don't know what happened, but we've created a 2-second gap. As we come through the last corner, let's have a look at that again. We come through the last few corners there, skidding everywhere. Like I mentioned with that curb, bro, just don't touch it, because you'll do exactly what I've just done there and have to cut the chicane. But yeah, let's go around this last corner side by side with George Russell. We go around the outside, give him enough space on the inside, and let's see the last corner. What does happen to George Russell? He goes into the wall, boys. Let's slow it down. He actually hits the wall at the apex of the corner, which sends him flying. You see his car comes off the ground slightly, and he goes into the wall there. Lucky to not be, you know, terminal damage. I thought his front wing might have snapped off there and punctured his tyre, or his tyre just came off. But very lucky for George. He does stay on as we left through there, Esteban Ocon and Sebastian Vettel. So yeah, I think that's the last of the blue flags. At least I hope it is. We've been lapped by 10 people in this race. Very embarrassing. George Russell pits again, obviously, because he's picked up that front wing damage. So Russell is going to be dead last in this race. And Nicholas Latifi is now behind us by 2 seconds. And Lewis Hamilton crosses the line. So obviously we've been lapped. So we do 38 laps instead of 39. So this will be our final lap of the race. Latifi closes the gap to 1.2 seconds coming towards the home straight, as we do a George Russell, and we nearly crash out of the race there, boys. And that would have been a disaster. Imagine we lost that front left and it just said, oh, you've got to retire. And the finish straight was literally like 100 meters away. Let's see a replay. We do exactly what George did. We touch the inside wall, which just sends us flying into that wall in front. A very difficult circuit, very difficult race. Not very entertaining to watch, not many overtakes or anything like that. Stinky result for us. P19 was it? Lance Stroll, driver of the day. Shout out to Lance Stroll. Obviously we love seeing who the driver of the day is on this series. But boys, we have 10 seasons, I do believe, of my team, so we're going to do 10 seasons with this car. My goal in those 10 seasons is to win at Monaco. So if you're in this series for the long haul, make sure you stay tuned every season for the Monaco Grand Prix, because we're going to win it one day. I'm telling you that right now. The first season we finished P19, I do believe, and we're going to do a graph every season of where we did finish in Monaco. And one day we will win at Monaco. I'm calling it right now. That is the goal for this series. When people say, like, what do you want to do in this series? Do you want to win the World Championship? Do you want to win the Constructors? No, we don't. We want to win a race at Monaco. We don't even, bro. Let's be honest. It's a shit circuit. It's not very fun to drive if you're not very good at it, like I'm not. But the next race is Baku, which is a very, very fun circuit to drive, and one of my favourites on the calendar. One of my best, I do believe, in terms of the pace I can put up at Baku. I just click with that circuit. So stay tuned for the next episode for the Baku Grand Prix. Now let's check out the standings. We get Lance Stroll, driver of the day, up 4 places. Terrible maths. He's up 3 places, and he also gets fastest lap, so fair play to Lance Stroll. Let's see, Dan Hickton, our teammate, finishing P15. A very good showing from our teammate there, as we remain in P19. We didn't move anyway. Look at that, bro. Look at the best lap times between us and Dan Hickton. That's 1.3 seconds. That's ridiculous. Like, yeah, so it's a very stinky race from us there. A whole 3 seconds to Lewis, like, as on our best lap. Crazy. As we go into the R&D side of things, we can see we get a few more upgrades through, and I'm just thinking we've got 1.2k points. We definitely need to make some upgrades to the car. You know, that was a terrible showing. Can we get some upgrades in before Baku and the next weekend? And I do believe we do end up settling for this tyre wear upgrade. You know, I mentioned tyre wear in the last video, but this upgrade won't come through until after the next 2 Grand Prix. We have Baku and then Canada. 2 of my favourite tracks to drive back to back there. So stay tuned for those. If you did watch this far into the video, I appreciate it. Like, comment, share, subscribe. You know the vibes, and I will catch us next time. Take it easy.